Hello StarCraft fans, Volty here, again bringing you another StarCraft 2 beta commentary. I have been out for a while because I was sick and lost my voice and the ability to talk for more than 5 minutes at a time without coughing, but I am mainly back now, so I hope that this will go alright and I won't cough in your ear too much, but if I do, I apologize in advance for that. This is a game between Artosis and an opponent of his on the Korean StarCraft 2 beta servers named SilEnT, and we have Artosis playing Terran in the upper right, SilEnT playing Protoss in the upper left. This is on Kulas Ravine, and it is a game from the patch 4 of the StarCraft 2 beta. We're now on patch 5, which just came out recently, and the changes between 4 and 5 were not super huge. The biggest thing that would affect this matchup is that the Warp Gate ability for Protoss has gotten nerfed. It takes a lot longer to research now. It's up to 140 seconds from 60. So that's the sort of thing that will impact this matchup. So this is from patch 4, and that nerf is not in place yet with this game. So I just want to make sure that that's clear to everybody going out here. I know Warp Gate is something that has been discussed quite a bit about how ridiculous it is. I think Warp Gate has made Protoss really interesting to play and play against, but decreasing, or rather increasing the amount of time it takes to build is probably a good change overall. And so I'm pretty happy with that change, looking forward to playing some games myself with it up, seeing how it impacts things. That said, not in place for this. This is from patch 4. We have Artosis sending out a very lucky early SCV scout here, which is going to find the Protoss base right off the bat, and is going to see pretty standard opening here, gateway being put down, Protoss taking his first assimilator, so pretty standard play, chrono boosting out some probes. Artosis is putting up a front door here, consisting of a barracks and supply depot, which he's going to wall off entirely. I like this, so now I have watched this game before. Artosis in fact put up a replay pack a while back with a bunch of games of him playing on the Korean servers. It's a very high level play, and this is one of the games that I did like from that, and so I'm commentating it having watched it already, and so I do know what happens here. I will say it is an interesting game in which we do see Artosis make a lot of interesting defensive plays as Terran. Terrans are very strong on defense, and we're going to see a lot of Artosis do a good job holding off some Protoss offenses here. I won't say any more than that, though, off the bat. So, one gate into Cybernetics core for the Protoss player, which is pretty standard opening. That will allow him to get Warp Gate technology up quickly, and otherwise access higher tech. The probe scout is now getting trapped in the base here, and so this Marine is going to run around and chase that probe. The probe will not be able to escape from the base, most likely. And of course, Artosis getting his orbital command immediately following his barracks. And so, probe scout goes down. Artosis' SCV scout is not being molested, so he's able to see the Protoss take his second gateway and second assimilator here. Going to bring up the production for both players now, and so we have Warp Gate researching, of course, right off the bat, as soon as that first Cybernetics core is done, and so this Warp Gate research will proceed quickly, and is being chrono boosted further by the Protoss player, which will really hasten the speed at which that Warp Gate research finishes. Meanwhile, Artosis is taking a tech lab for his barracks, and so far, looking at the units specified by each player, no one has really invested in any early armies here. Artosis has a single Marine, but is otherwise going to go straight for, I suspect, Marauders. Yes, one Marauder coming out here early and going into a factory. The Protoss player has not even begun to build a single unit yet. It looks like he may be waiting for his Warp Gate research to finish before he even summons his first Zealot. Yeah, and we are seeing that now, so Warp Gate research finishes, and now a third gateway being put down for the Protoss player. And otherwise, we have Warp Gates coming up here. And now even these are finished. Okay, now we have the first units, so Stalker and a Sentry coming in for the Protoss player as his first two units. These should clean up the SCV Scout, and with no difficulty here. We also have a probe coming out of the Protoss player's base. This will likely be to put down a proxy pylon closer to the Terran's base, since the Protoss player should know by now that a probe has no chance of actually getting in as a scout. I have to assume that this is for a proxy pylon. And so we're probably going to see that over nearby the bushes here, which block line of sight, making them a great place to put proxy pylons, or we may see it, let's see, closer to the rocks. Of course, a pylon in the lower area, I believe, can warp units directly up to the upper, up to the ledge above them, without having line of sight, I believe, is how that works. No pylon yet, though, for this probe. Meanwhile, we have a bunker being put down for Artosis, more Marauders coming in, and we have some early attacking going on of these destructible rocks, which will open up this high ground expansion here for Artosis to expand to as soon as he takes those rocks out. Though, frankly, he's already putting the command center down, and he can just as easily float it over the destructible rocks even without having destroyed them. Where... I seem to have lost track of that probe for the Protoss player. And I don't see a proxy pylon down, so maybe there was no proxy pylon. In any case, we now have 4 Stalkers, 1 Zealot, and 1 Sentry moving out for the Protoss player. SCV Scout is going to see this and go down. But this early force is going to move out towards the Terran's base. That said, we have siege tanks coming up. We have a first siege tank out for Artosis. We have the rocks being destroyed and that first expansion command center nearly finished, which will easily float up and take this high ground expansion. We now have the Protoss player arriving with his forces, doing some harass on that supply depot, which is basically we're certainly out of range of that bunker. He should be able to attack it without drawing fire from the Marauders as long as they stay behind the supply depot. And now that supply depot going down to long range fire there. Siege tech not even begun yet for Artosis, so he will have a difficult time just staying in his base. And now the proxy pylon coming out up here near the natural expansion for the Protoss player. And siege tech starting on that research, and a supply depot and a missile turret coming down to enhance Artosis' wall. And that early missile turret is definitely a hallmark of play that I've seen from Artosis lately. In many of these replays I've watched of his, he definitely always guards against the early Dark Templar rush. I mean, among other things, but certainly against that by getting a missile turret early on his front door. But it is not Dark Templar that he's going to face here. It is going to be the Stalkers again, managing to take out the supply depot, but losing a sentry, or sorry, losing a... I keep calling it the wrong name. Losing a sentinel. I believe they're called sentinels. I'm going to double check that. No, they're called sentries. Oh, Jesus, now I'm really confused. Okay, well, sentry. He lost his sentry in exchange for a supply depot. Not a great trade. Continuing to put the pressure on, and now that he's brought in a bunch of Zealots, they're going to be good meat shields here, and they're going to charge in through their 2 Zealots going down. Supply depot's dead, though. The Stalkers trying to get some fire on that siege tank. They're very effective at killing siege tanks. That goes down. We do several Marauders now picking off straggling Protoss units. The Protoss getting